Yo, it's your boy Fat Man. Welcome back to the channel. All right, so everything here is about to be very, very hard to take in, right? I'm talking about Israel and Palestine, but I'm not really talking about them. I'm kind of talking about shit that's happening around and away from them because it has almost nothing to do with them in general. So, but it kind of does. And by that, I mean bigger discussions. But let's get into it.
And then, is this exactly what people should be doing, or is it a road too far? That is one of the big debates playing out right now over the growing trend of lawmakers being confronted for not supporting a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war.
Now, I'm going to put this straight up to y'all, right? Right now, there's a 4-day ceasefire between Israel and Palestine. Israel and Hamas, my bad. Because they're trading back people from both sides, right? They both have, on one end, Israel has Palestinians. On the other hand, Hamas has Israelis. So, for some people who don't know what that means, Palestinians are basically like Muslims, all those people, and Israelis are Jewish people. There you go. It's really hard to keep up with that because I just want to say is Jewish and fucking Arabs, but people be like, you can't say that. I don't fucking know. So they're basically doing a ceasefire. At this moment, a lot of people have been arguing up until Thanksgiving that it should be a permanent ceasefire, not a temporary one. I do agree because October 7th, fucking Israel borders got hit through the Gaza Strip, and then Hamas came through. They shut off telecommunications. Israel was blind for a bit, and a lot of shit happened. A lot of Jewish people died, and then Israel finally struck back, firing on Palestine and then trying to find the Hamas people, but the Hamas is hiding among citizens. To ask U.S. lawmakers for a ceasefire, them niggas don't care. In other words, it's like, that's just none of my business because that's higher politics than they can go, right? The political game is something that is, let me take off my glasses, harder to play. If you want to play the political game, go right ahead. But be aware, asking and pushing and all other shit, it ain't gonna work.
This is in recent weeks, multiple interactions that follow this general script have gone viral on social media. This including most recently a video of Senator Chris Coons that has more than 12 million views on X as of recording. And in that clip, which was posted yesterday, the lawmaker is seen riding an Amtrak and being questioned by a person who identifies himself as a journalist and who repeatedly ignored the senator's request to be left alone.
Senator, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but when I call for a ceasefire in Gaza, I'm a journalist, my name's Aaron Mate. When I call for a ceasefire in Gaza, you have 4,600 children killed. 46. I know it's a quiet car, and I apologize for abuse, but I understand. But children are dying. Children are dying.
This is just rude. Like, you're gonna walk up to say you're a journalist, and then you're just gonna berate the nigga, and the nigga's caught off guard. First of all, I get it. This is how you catch a lot of lawmakers off guard, which you're supposed to. Don't get me wrong. You're supposed to be able to walk up to a lawmaker, sit down. But number one, you didn't sit down and say, can I have a small conversation with you? And then I'm going to go. Let me just ask you these questions. If you got some time, you kind of do. I'm being as quiet as I can. So do you mind if I just blah, 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 blah. And he's like, it's a quiet car. Like, why are you talking so loud? Why are you doing this? Why are you sitting next to me? It's awkward. It's weird. Understandable, the guy has, obviously, yeah, he's, you know, a lawmaker, but he's sitting here, peace of mind, not caring about politics or reading a paper or something, just trying to zone out. Personally, if this was me, I would have been like, listen, get the fuck up. I ain't answering no questions. I'm just not in the mood for this right now. Like, this is, I'm not on the job right as we speak, so I don't care. It just is what it is, because some of these lawmakers, nigga, when I clock in, I'm sitting at the Senate, I'm doing my thing, but if I'm on my private time, fuck out of here.
Dying, sir. I'm asking you to explain when I call for a ceasefire.
You're bothering me and everyone else around. Sir, could I please have some help here?
Kids are being killed with our weapons.
Stop. I'm asking you to stop.
Why not stop?
This is
when
not
I
an
call for
appropriate
stopping
place for you to interview me. You're bothering everybody else around.
It's a crisis
How
right
did you
now.
get this?
That's fine. It is a crisis that he cannot control. I'm sorry for a lot of you people. Niggas like this, they can't control what's happening. He is only a bystander in what is going on in the grand scheme of things. What the fuck is he controlling?
Also, last week we saw this interaction between an activist and Senator Mitt Romney in the halls of the Senate.
Went into a country and brutally murdered people.
That is true. Hamas did jump in. A lot of people are going to flip the script and say, oh, but Israel stole land in 1984. They're not getting that land back. I'm sorry to tell you, nigga. I'm sorry to tell you. You think America gave back land to the Indians, but now them niggas live on reservations? It's pretty fucked up if you think about it. It just is what it is. They're not getting the land back. And for people to be like, oh, Israel did this, this, and this. Yeah. But what Israel did, how much of that is really recorded? Yes, it's all logged in history books. It's all information that's out there. At the same time, do you think anybody's going to bat an eye or be like, well, what can I do now? They've done it. It's what they've done has already been done. But Hamas, October 7th, came in, did what they did. And this is an argument I had with my friend, or maybe a little disagreement, right? Hamas did something October 7th, but it's like, oh, but Hamas did that because Israel did this, this, and this. I said, yeah, that's cool. They did that. How the fuck do I turn back time and stop them from doing that? I can't. They'll kill me too. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, Hamas did something, and it just is what it is. Hamas did, and Israel struck back. But Israel striking back in the most disgusting way is not going to change things. It's not. It's not. Israel did what they did because, number one, the Jewish people, this is how they think, and this is how it is, right? They went through a Holocaust. They died. Them niggas don't care anymore. They're like, no, fuck you and fuck everybody else around you. If you kill my people, attack my people, it's off the fucking table. They throwing the table at you. They using every part of the table to fucking stab you, try to kill you. And anybody around you. They putting you in a body bag. I don't know what to tell niggas. That's how the Israelis are thinking right now because that's who they are underneath. They're just mad at bullshit that they obviously couldn't control at some point. So don't get me wrong. I understand. Israel pretty fucked up for what they're doing right now because they're bombing hospitals, they're bombing refugee camps, they're wilding out. And there's Hamas hiding in people. Like they're literally hiding using people as fucking human shields. So personally, if you think about it, it's fucked up.
Cut their throats. You want to talk or am I going to talk?
I'm going to talk.
Okay, well, I'm not going to talk.
That's not how this works, honey. You came to me.
You are in the committee.
And then, of course, there's also been involvement from different groups of protesters, all of whom called for a ceasefire. We've seen hundreds of anti-Zionist Jewish activists getting arrested for staging a sit-in at Congress. You had other demonstrators disrupting a Senate hearing. A veterans group was arrested outside Senator Kirsten Gillibrand's office in the Capitol. And a speech by Senator Cory Booker was interrupted by a crowd of protesters.
Where people want to make sure that we have. This is what makes America great. The power to protest.
But then also...
You know what? He has a point. If you think about it, this is the greatest land in the world where we can both disagree on something and we can have a conversation on something and we can talk about something and personally not have it be used against us. Unless, nowadays it's very different. We'll move on to another part of the video in a second. But he had a point. He was like, this is why I love America. I can sit here and talk about blah, 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 and y'all can just protest in the crowd. Beautiful, ain't it?
So one of these confrontations that's gone really viral, getting nearly 15 million views on X as of recording, is this one where Senator Elizabeth Warren is approached by a woman while the senator was eating dinner in Cambridge. With that clip reportedly posted by the Boston faction of the anti-Zionist group Jewish Voice for Peace, which said on X that it had mobilized with Harvard students and others in Cambridge to disrupt Senator Warren at dinner. In the footage, we see the woman going up to the senator saying she is a constituent of hers and a refugee from Gaza. Warren then responds that she's having dinner, and the woman continues anyway, saying that 68 members of her family have been killed over the last 3 weeks and asking how many more will have to die before she calls a ceasefire.
I mean, what do I have to do? How many more of my family to die for you to call for a ceasefire? I don't know. Like, how much more do I have to say for you to call for a ceasefire? People in your office every day asking you to call for a ceasefire, and you are refusing to call for a ceasefire.
People are calling your office every day asking for a ceasefire, and you are refusing to call for a ceasefire. But they really can't do nothing. It's not up to them to call for a ceasefire. It's not. It's up to Israel to stop and stop the shit. This is what I hate about this stuff. You're going to go to a senator that has nothing to do with what's happening in another country. That has nothing to do with what's happening. And this is what I'm mad about a lot of you niggas. Because a lot of you niggas be talking this shit, moving like this, and you don't do shit about it. You ain't going to Palestine helping out those refugees, all this other shit. You ain't going to Israel trying to stop armies from doing shit. No, you over here trying to talk to these fucking political people that they can actually do something in another country when they have zero fucking power to do that. Only the country itself. Only Israel has the fucking power to stop what they doing. But last time I checked it, that's using logic. And some of you ain't thinking, oh, we're calling your office every day to call for a ceasefire. That's not their job. Only the United Nations, if the United Nations comes together, well, that's the world government talking to Israel saying, listen, you're going to have to calm the fuck down. You're going to have to stop, calm the fuck down, or you're going to have to think about this in a very strategical way. You can't keep bombing Gaza Strip. You can't keep doing this. You're going to have to calm the fuck down. The U.S. already told Israel, do not be blinded by rage. But they're already blinded by rage. They don't give a fuck. Jewish people are mad. And when they get mad, they go and light you the fuck up. I just don't know what it is. But the fact that you walk up to me at dinner, I'm just like, we're calling you. What is that doing? What is that doing? You think she's not getting those messages? Her fucking secretary is. And her secretary is going, It's the same shit. We're calling your office every day. And what is that doing? Nothing. It just is what it is. And the fact that it is what it is, you don't understand that. It's not doing anything. So why don't you do your due diligence, try to solve problems here in your own fucking country, because Flint still don't have clean fucking water. Hawaii was fucking on fire. And after that, people don't realize, Hawaii being on fire. And then what happened next? A fucking war broke out. Do you know how much fucking flack Oprah and The Rock got and a lot of celebrities got for Hawaii? And no one in America went to Hawaii and said, we got to raise funds for Hawaii, try to help these people build their homes. No. We Palestine, free Palestine. Nigga, you ain't Palestinian. This girl, she may say she Palestinian. I don't really know what the fuck is going on. And then niggas is like, fuck Israel. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, my guy? None of the people in the U.S. want to fix U.S. problems. But niggas really think, another country, I'm going to try to help them when I can't do jack shit and bother the lawmakers and think they can actually do something when they fucking can't do jack shiddly diddly. That's the worst thing in the world, to realize that, yes, sharing and posting, it does something. It gets the word out for a little bit. But after that, you look like a fucking annoyance to your audience. And it's just like, bro, I can't do nothing. Stop posting this shit. Because personally, I told my audience what they had to hear. I have tons of videos, tons of stuff. I actually have a playlist I made. Right when I was doing this video, I had a whole playlist I made about the whole Israel and shit. It's a history on it. It's a playlist. It'll be up here in the doobly-doo, whatever the fuck, right? But it's a playlist that I made. Hopefully, I can get the playlist up, because I remember I found a couple of videos way back and I made a huge playlist. But the problem is, y'all niggas is arguing over shit that you can't solve in another country, but you're Americans and you can solve the problem here in this country. But that's the point, is you don't want to solve the problems here. You want to care about problems somewhere else, because that's more important than the fucking place you live in. And she could just be saying all this shit. I have tons and tons of family members dying over there and blah, blah. I don't know you. I don't know if this is true. I'm having dinner. Leave me the fuck alone.
Right, and so with all this, we've seen a lot of people online divided over these approaches. We have some applauding these moves, saying that people should keep doing this, making politicians uncomfortable. And
no, it's going to do nothing. It's going to make politicians resent and hate people. Well, not hate, but resent you and fucking be like, leave me the fuck alone, nigga. And eventually, I play nice. I'm having dinner. I think you should understand. You wouldn't like it if a fucking politician came in your house, took out their dick and peed all over your shit. Now, did you? No. Because why? That's wilding the fuck out. You walked into my house and pissed on me. You walked in a restaurant where I paid good money for, to pay service for, to eat food that I'm paying for, just because you want me to hear shit that, and then you walk up to me when I'm eating. Nigga, no. Number one, if I was any celebrity, which if any celebrity talks about this shit, should you care? Hell no, the fuck you shouldn't, because it's a celebrity. Regardless, what did Dave Chappelle say? What the fuck does Ja Rule got to do with this? Nothing. Anybody care what the fuck Ja Rule thinks? No. In other words, celebrities and their opinions and how they feel, it don't really matter, nigga, because Ja Rule don't give a fuck. Ja Rule don't know what the fuck is going on. So why the fuck do you care? Huh? And you want a celebrity's opinion just like you want a company's opinion? I don't give a fuck about Starbucks. I don't give a fuck about McDonald's. And I don't care if Burger King or Wendy's fucking pick a side. Because guess what? I'm still going to eat at Starbucks. I'm still going to eat at Wendy's and Burger King. I stopped eating McDonald's a long time ago. I'm not going to lie to you. I stopped eating McDonald's. I was like, maybe some nuggets, but that's it. But after that, Wendy's got better nuggets. I don't know what the fuck is your problem, bro.
getting in their faces. Right, many arguing that these politicians are supposed to represent and serve the public, but they are failing to do so.
Yes, they're supposed to represent and serve the public. But at the same time, they also understand that there's certain things I cannot control in my power that can push, that is representative of the public. I can only control what's in my state and what's happening. That's why these politicians are important, because they control what's happening in the state you live in the country you live in, yes. And then there's different levels. Like if it's state politics, it's only New York State. You have to talk to the politicians representing the 5 boroughs. There's political people representing each part of the 5 boroughs. You need to talk to whoever's representing the Bronx, whoever's representing Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Queens, and Staten Island. You need to know who these people are, because if you don't know what laws they're passing, you don't know what people are voting for, you don't know what type of laws and votes that people are actually looking at, right? Who are these politicians on the state level, right? Just New York State. Now we go basically countrywide, like the whole country itself is representatives that are working for judicial, legislative, and executive branch, right? You need to find out who all of those people represent in this fucking country. Now, state level is different from the wider broad of the country, because the wider broad of the country means this person is representing all of America, all of American politics, all of the American people. And at that point, you really need to find out, hey, where is this person from? What are they doing? How are they caring about me and my problems? How are they trying to solve this, this, and this? Hey, how are they helping Flint get fresh fucking clean water? Because Flint still does not have that. So I want to be honest with you. What the fuck are you really doing if you don't really know this information, right? And if you can't do anything, these politicians are extremely not going to be the ones to help. They're just not.
So they must be held accountable. Some also calling for more politicians to be hounded down, while others took aim at the politicians we have seen getting confronted. And this including the likes of massive online creators like Mia Khalifa, who of course
The porn star? Okay.
posted a lot about everything that's been going down, and her tweeting specifically about the video with Warren in writing. This privileged crow really said, "I'm having dinner," and
Because she's having dinner. Aren't you the same bitch that was pissed off when a fucking fan came up to you asking for a photo or some shit and you said no? And then his girlfriend was like, oh yeah, I didn't recognize you about cum or dick all over her face. Are you dead ass? And that's the same fucking person that made you cry. Shut the fuck up. You want to be so fucking hypocritical. These people are just regular people. They're not working right now. You want to bother me? Come to my office and maybe, at least I understood, I think was it Mitt Romney? At least I understood one of the niggas, he was talking and he was at the office. He was like, I'm at the office. I can have this conversation with you. Fine. It's political talk. But she wasn't listening to him. He was like, I ain't talking to you if you ain't going to listen. Fuck out of here. It's not how this works. You came to me. I ain't going to you. And it just is what it is. But you want to be a hypocritical dickhead. If I'm having lunch or dinner and some nigga rolls up on me, I'm throwing my water in your face, nigga. You must have thought I was pussy. I said I'm having dinner and you ignored me. So take this and get the fuck on out of here. Oh, that's assault. I don't give a fuck. I'm still a person at the end of the day. Respect me or fuck off. Oh, but they're not respecting people and respecting what people are doing. And I'm not in the office, nigga. Last time I checked, I'm having dinner. That means my work hours are over. Reach me back at work hours. Oh, we're calling your office. I don't pick up the phone. I have a secretary. Stupid. The fuck out of here. Mia Khalifa is a fucking asshole, bro, and she hardly knows anything she's talking about.
response to 68 members of my family died. Evil, putrid, deplorable. I hope she never has a peaceful meal or bowel movement in her life again. But then
You're just a sad little person.
on the other side, we also saw people pushing back against this, with one user who responded to me as post writing, I could have walked in there and claimed I lost 100 family members.
Exactly. You don't know who these fucking people are. They're strangers. They can walk in, lie about fucking anything, and you have to what? I have to believe you? I don't have to believe shit. I'm not on the clock. And even then, as an individual person, I have to care about it, or I have to be able to do something about it. If none of these lawmakers have the power to do anything but talk to other people, even then, that's not going to move the goalpost. Because after that, politics is slow. You must have forgot about that.
She's under no obligation to talk to a stranger who could be a liar or a psychopath. Respect civility and common decency, you sick fucks. Others
Exactly.
also echoing that, arguing that confronting lawmakers like this isn't the best approach. With, for example, one person writing, I'm questioning the efficacy of the tactic. Unlikely to accomplish anything serious and instead galvanize your opposition. You can't think you can intimidate senators and sway their stance by doing this, can you?
It's irrelevantly stupid. It's low intelligent thinking. You think swaying senators is going to work like this? It's not. It's not going to get them on your side. They're just going to look at you and be like, go fuck yourself. Now, moving on to another story, which this is why you don't pick sides. Okay, so now this is one of Phil's recent videos we're going to look at. So it has a lot that's going on, so let's check it.
Been a number of developments in the Israel-Gaza war since we last covered it before Thanksgiving. On the ground, the long-awaited hostage exchange and associated truce is actually taking place. And over the first 3 days,
Which I argued with my friend, this is kind of what people were crying about. And he was like, how, that's so fucking insensitive, people are dying. I'm like, Jerry, that's part of war. My boy Jerry. It's part of war. And this is a war. At the end of the day, it is a war. And if they can't find who they're looking for, there's going to be some casualties, which is really fucked up to think about. But it's what happens with these situations. But also, it is a small ceasefire. This is all they can give you. This is all the time you have. Hey, make it do, because this is it. After the ceasefire is over, it's back to fighting. And last time I checked it, war has come a long way to being just simple guns, shooting, attacking. It's more strategized than before. And it's very much like a game that they have to play. And the game requires each side strategically to do what they have to do. This is a temporary ceasefire. And the fact that it's here, people are mad at it. I am happy that at least they're trading people from both sides. That is important because, honestly, shit has been going down. There's been fighting, shooting, killing, bombing. We're lucky to even get this. We're lucky to even have this. And now people are calling for a permanent ceasefire. That probably is something to see. A lot of Jewish people in the U.S. are mad at Israel, and they're just like, we don't want this from Israel. Like, listen, we want to live in peace with the fucking Palestinians. Just let it happen already. Some people are like, well, they should also give back the land, free Palestine. And someone brought this up to me. They said, cool, what if Palestine gets its freedom? Then what? They're just going to live in peace? No. They're going to leave where they are. They're going to go to other countries. So they're going to be immigrating to other areas, and they're going to build up resentment for Israel. And they're going to try to take back more land. Just is what it is. Do you think for a second, and she told me this, a friend of mine, she said, do you think for a second these people who've been by the Gaza Strip are these 3 million, whatever fucking people are just going to go somewhere else? You think they're just going to live in peace somewhere? They're going to leave. They're going to come back with money and finances. They're going to get weapons, and they're going to take back their land by force. And it's going to be more infighting. The infighting will never stop. And a friend of mine's told me this, and I was kind of like, that's not going to happen. That doesn't make any sense. If they're free, they're free to leave their country and go somewhere else and start a new life and all that shit. But she said, on the surface, that's what you believe, and that's why you feel it should happen. Same way the immigrants are coming over here in New York City and all around the country. That's only on the surface level. My friend told me is, if they're free, there'll be more infighting, there'll be more hatred for Israel, and there'll be more wars and fighting. And then there'll be Palestinians going into Israel trying to get back their land and take it by force. And Israel, who gave them their freedom once again, will have to force out Palestinians, be like, well, we can't give this back to you. This is not how Native Americans. Just imagine Native Americans, my friend told me because she reversed it, Native Americans coming back for their land in New York City, attacking, scalping, and stabbing and killing people and trying to take back Harlem. Do you think black people in Harlem are going to care? No, they're gonna fucking have Native American bodies all over the fucking place. And I was like, oh, okay, that does make sense. And she was like, you give these people an inch, they definitely will take a mile, especially from what they've been going through. And I didn't think about that because I said, it should be easy to just say, yo, all right, let's open up the borders. Y'all free, you can do whatever the fuck you want. All right, we're going to leave you the fuck alone. This is our land now. We can't give it back to you. Sorry. Unless I'm wrong about that, and they can. And if they can give them back their land and say, hey, here's your land, but what the fuck can you do on that land when you don't have money, you don't have infrastructure, you don't have the money to build back on that land that they moved you from, then what? You gonna live in a fucking tent on that land? That don't make any sense. So they're gonna build up resentment and fuck people up. It don't make sense when people say free Palestine, because technically, what the fuck is that gonna do? It's gonna build up resentment, and it's gonna be more, I'm not gonna say this, but more terrorism. is going to be more hatred within their people. Like, oh, wow, it took this long for us to be free, but fuck Israel still. Make it make sense.
Hamas released 58 people in exchange for 117 Palestinian people.
Okay.
Both sides primarily releasing women and children, although Hamas did also
So are these all the people that were like, these people aren't real, these people are fake? Yeah, people fucked up. These are real people.
release some foreign nationals that they had abducted
And they got kids.
on their October 7th attack. The truce has also facilitated some conversation between the two sides, with American and Qatari mediators trying to get the truce extended. We actually now have word that's essentially happened, with Qatar confirming that the truce would be extended by 2 days, meaning that Hamas agreed to release at least 20 more hostages. There's also reportedly been efforts to make sure that Hamas doesn't separate mothers or grandmothers from children in the hostage exchange, something that they promised not to do, but whether intentionally or not, have reportedly done. But overall, people are at least temporarily relieved that the fighting has stopped and that the hostages are finally being released. And with that, as you'd expect, there have been a lot of big reactions to the videos of people being
Which is beautiful. Because it's like, no, we want people to be reunited back with their families. I ain't saying nothing about this. This is beautiful. But what I'm mad at is the fact that this fighting, people want it to stop and they keep saying, fuck Israel, which I'm like, it's the Israeli government you should be mad at. Do the Israel people care for this sentiment? No, they don't. Some are just brainwashed by their government. And that just is what it is. It's the same thing that goes for America, right? If you say you love America, the first thing people think of is, oh, well, you hate other countries and you think you're better than... I'm like, no, I love where I live. As a black American, I do love my country, but I can only talk shit about my country. You have no right to talk shit about my country. I've learned that a long time ago. If you don't vote in this country, you have no say on how laws go. You have no say on how shit happens. Simple as that. And you can't complain. That's exactly how it is. It's just... Number one, it's a fucking law, a fucking rule of thumb. You don't vote, you can't complain. You do vote, you can complain all you fucking want. You live here, you can talk shit about here. You don't live here, you can't talk shit about here because you don't know what goes on here. You may get a nice little view from the other end, but this doesn't show anything. This is beautiful to see because I'm happy that families are reunited. I'm sad after this is over and I gotta leave 2 more days, it's up. They going back to war. They're going back to fighting.
united. We'll also likely continue to see these reunions happen in the short term, as families that are expected to be reunited today have been notified, according to the Prime Minister's office. But with all this, it should be noted that there are people opposed to the deal, especially among Israeli hardliners like National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir.
Why? You want to know why? Because he's like, once you reunite these people, it's up. We have no leverage. We going to get fucked. We going to get shot. They're going to try to fuck with us. They might have brainwashed some of these kids to be like, well, Allah Akbar. Like, you don't know. You don't know. And I'm just saying shit. But he's straight up like, I'm with my country and I don't like Palestinians. Like, fuck that. It's just sad, but you could probably see in this nigga's face, he's like, nope. Not today.
And then, of course, there are those who criticize what they say is Israel's willingness to release prisoners that have been accused of attacking Israelis. And all this, while on the other side, there's still the critique that this essentially was the same deal that Hamas offered weeks ago, and saying 15,000...
See, people are going to say that. Oh, this is the same deal Hamas offered weeks ago. Is it? Is it, nigga? I don't believe that. How the fuck do you know Hamas offered this deal weeks ago? How? And, like I said before, Israel is blinded by rage. So it probably took somebody in the Israeli government with calm, level head to say, let's take the deal. Let's agree to this, because if we don't, we're fucked up right now. It's human nature to be in their asses.
And Palestinian deaths later, Israel didn't get anywhere close to eradicating Hamas. If Hamas is in tunnels, bombing buildings only kills civilians. Murdering Palestinian civilians is the goal. But
no, it's
in the
not.
face of everything we
No,
just
it's
talked
not.
about, the ceasefire...
See, shit like that is a rhetoric of people saying, oh, well, they're just trying to genocide and murder. Technically, I don't think they're trying to do that. I don't think so. I do believe they're trying to get the enemy that attacked them first. But they're retaliating in such a very anger-filled, rageful way.
Fire will reportedly continue and will continue for at least 2 more days. However, all of this, as seemingly elsewhere, things are becoming progressively more violent. We're seeing things like over in Quebec, a Jewish community center was hit by a Molotov cocktail.
You see that? That's why the fuck you don't pick sides. That's exactly why you don't pick sides, because there's bitch ass niggas who are gonna bring hate. This is why, and I'm rolling my sleeves up, this is fucking why you don't pick sides. Israel or Palestine, you mind your fucking business, because there's gonna be hatred for fucking Jewish people that's got nothing to do with what's happening in their fucking country over in places like Quebec and in the US at some point. There's shit like this that is happening. Molotov cocktail getting thrown at a community of Jewish people? Are you out of your goddamn mind? And you talk about free Palestine when there's niggas out there that say, yeah, free Palestine, but also fuck them Jews and kill them niggas. Hatred, racism, anti-Semitism happening in front of you. And oh, no, it's not. It's a lie. Shut the fuck up. This is why you don't pick sides. This is why you don't pick fucking sides at all.
Fortunately there, no one was injured and the damage of the building ended up being minimal, though that is hardly the only Jewish center or business to be targeted lately. And at the same time, you have Palestinians increasingly being targeted. Like over in Vermont, a 48-year-old man was arrested and charged with attempted murder for shooting 3 Palestinian college students.
Vermont? See? Over here in the US. That's crazy. Nigga, that's crazy. 3 of these kids ain't do shit. Actually, these 2 look like grown-ass men. This one over here looks like a kid.
Well, he's since pled not guilty. Authorities allege that the 3 students were just walking on the street Saturday night when the man just walked up to them and without speaking a word, opened fire before running. According to
This is dangerous. This is the most disgusting shit ever. Imagine minding your fucking business and some asshole walks up to you and shoots you just because you're Palestinian. Either side you pick, you're representing this type of hatred. And if you don't believe that, you are sorely ignorant. You are sorely losing the battle with these conversations. And I'm just sorry for anybody out there who are just like, oh, but you support murder and death. No, motherfucker. You support the agenda. If you ain't Jewish or Muslim, mind your business. I'm going to say that right now. If you ain't going over to these countries trying to help out in any shape or form, mind your business. But the moment you pick a side, you are screaming to fucking monsters who shot these 3 and who threw Molotov cocktail at the Jewish community center. You are praising both of these sides. And you just don't understand that. And it's very sad.
The police, 2 of the victims are in stable condition, while a 3rd received much more serious injuries. And this is the victims' families, along with civil rights groups, are urging investigators to seriously consider whether this was a hate-motivated crime. And there
it was!
Burlington Police Chief John Murad definitely not throwing that out the window, saying, in this charged moment, no one can look at this incident and not suspect that it may have been a hate-motivated crime.
He said it may have been. He didn't say it was. It may have been. May is nowhere. He's like, may have been ain't a yes or a no. It may have been a crime. It could have been. I can't say yes 100%. He didn't say yes. He said it may have been. That's not yes on top of that. Yes is permanent. Yes is yes. Oh, that's how it happened. That's how it happened? Or you sure? Or it happened like that? Like there's language you really got to pay attention to, I believe.
According to the Council on American-Islamic Relations, all this comes as Muslims, Arabs, and Palestinians across the country report a surge in anti-Muslim and anti-Arab hate since...
Because you picking sides and each person on each side believes they're in the right. And this is kind of a conversation I had with a friend of mine. There's your story, their story, and the actual fucking truth in between. Because if I'm on my end, if I'm Jewish, I'm going to say from my Jewish people how it is. If you're Palestinian or Muslim, you're going to say from how your people how it is. But if we got friends who agree with both of us separately, they're going to split it right down the middle on how fucked up their train of thought is on each one of these religious thoughts and who they stand with. And there's always going to be radicals in both sides trying to, I'm going to say, destroy the other. It's sad to think about it, but it is that fucking truth, right? If we could all just calm the fuck down and really logically think about this for a second, Palestine has the right to be free and not cramped up in the Gaza Strip. The people have a right to just go where the fuck they want to go, which is true, they do. But Israel and Israelis do not believe that the Palestinians have a right to the land that they were on first. If you do a lot of history, Israel, a lot of like Jewish people were there on the land first before King Solomon, all this other shit. And then they left the land a long time ago, but they still have notes and information about being on the land, except the land had a lot of Palestinians on at the time. So it's a lot of back and forth bullshit. But once again, you pick a side, each side is gonna build some type of hate underneath that. It just is what it is. And you don't see it, but this is exactly why you don't.
The escalation of violence in Palestine and Israel last month. And so actually with that, they're offering $10,000 for any information that leads to a conviction in this case. But also, unfortunately in this situation, there is a very strong chance that this will not be the last time a case like this happens. Nor is there any reason to believe that anti-Islamic or anti-Semitic related incidents are going to drop. With CARE reporting there's been a more than 200% increase in anti-Arab and anti-Muslim incidents since Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th. And this, as the ADL says, there's been a 400% increase in anti-Semitic incidents in the US. So keep an eye out for your neighbors because things just appear to be getting rougher and rougher right now. And then
and that's the truth because, let me take this off. And this is probably why I disagreed with my friends on taking either side, because if I take a side and pick a side, people are going to be like, well, that's your affiliation. And I'm going to say, no, I just picked a side because someone wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. But at the end of the day, who is anybody to pick a side? I've said this before, I'll say this again, in this long-ass video of why you should not pick a side. Because this is what happens when you pick a side or don't pick a side. You have to deal with the political aspects of this shit, and then you have to deal with the oncoming aspects of everybody thinking they got a fucking opinion and they're right about this, when no one is right at the moment. At the moment. Yes, Israel shooting up refugee camps is wrong. Duh. I said that a million times in this video. But they defended themselves at some point. And them defending themselves went off very, very fucked up. They violated a lot of human rights laws. And the UN should have stepped in at some point, but they did not. So when things are looking bad, everyone is already picking a side because that's how they feel. And personally, to me, I don't agree with either one, because underneath you picking a side on surface level, underneath that, there's some hate-filled motherfuckers that disagree, want to kill, murder, and destroy. We just saw 3 people get shot for that shit. Do you really believe this is the right way? Do you really believe picking a side is doing anything? Bitch, no, it's not. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And honestly, do you have any more information about this? Do you care about this? Do you even remotely give a fuck? Because baby, I don't. I don't give a fuck about it because it does me nothing. I ain't Palestinian and I definitely ain't Jewish. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to be out here screaming and supporting any of this propaganda and any of these things because that's not what I represent. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of my religious views. But this is your boy Fat Man. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the icon to be notified. Let me know what you think of both of these stories. Remember to never give up, never surrender, and keep on grinding. And honestly, peace, and I'm out. But also be aware if people are trying to throw you into the fucking ring and tell you to pick a side and choose, and you have friends arguing and fighting, don't pick a side. Just stand back and keep watching because that's all you can kind of do. You can go to protests. You can do all that shit. It doesn't mean nothing. And a friend of mine brought this up. It's like, well, Black Lives Matter protesting, did that not mean anything? It didn't, because we didn't get the laws and stuff passed that we wanted. Better police reform, better cops training, cops being more attentive to the community, and cops also switching off with other officers. Even in New York City, we just got a whack bill that was signed in New York, in the Bronx, and it just wasn't a bill that a lot of people cared about because it wasn't the bill we wanted. It's not. And we did technically lose. A lot of the Black Lives Matter things, like a lot of the protests, were just losses at the end of it because we didn't get anything signed, anything happened significantly. So when it comes to protesting, it works, but it doesn't, it's not fruitful. It's not holding anything down. But that's all I gotta say. Peace.
Shit.
Getting on drum.
This is the last one.
You little niggas gonna stop acting like my shit ain't the grill.
This is the last
Some
one.
of you niggas get your front teeth for grills. And I ain't talking about the contract.
Ain't loving these fake hoes. Room smelling like 8 switches. Room service like 2K. NBA, I'm ballin', nigga. All them niggas falling like all them niggas. Talking shit, I saw them niggas. Now they daughter want a picture. Rough, ain't it? Fuck famous.
Yeah, man.
Niggas too real, got the most haters. Wrote a story, so Stephen Curry. How it feel to be golden.